I'm gonna stick like glue when I get my arms around you. I wanna hold you tight and dance with you all night.
This is 99.5 Global FM, your number one source for R&B.
This radio station.
Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm, and as always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. Thank you so much for tuning in and making GPS a part of your afternoon routine. It's Friday, so you know what that means. Every Friday, you guys serve as my co-host, as we call it a TGIF, open line show, where we look at the week that was, or anything else you guys want to talk about within reason. I always have to say that, because, you know, some of our people just get a little carried away. And so, within reason, whatever you guys want to talk about is what we're going to be discussing on today's show, because this is all about you. And, you know, this is an opportunity once a week at least, when we can discuss all the various issues, all of the various news-related events that would have taken place in our country over the past week. And boy, do we have a lot of stuff. Now, I'm seeing something that came across my WhatsApp feed a moment ago. I'm just trying to see if I see it anywhere else before I put it out there. Because, you know, in the Bahamas, we like to announce things, particularly as it relates to people's lives, prematurely. So before I go ahead and repeat that, let me just make sure that it is credible. Okay, so how do you get to be a part of this show? Well, simply enough, you can call us at 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272. The WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 801-0271, 801-0271. We are streaming live on Facebook, on the official Global 99.5 FM Facebook page, as well as the official Michelle Malcolm Facebook page. We're also streaming live on our YouTube channels. And you can catch Central Bahamas, channel 974, obviously on radio. On the dial, it's 99.5 on the FM dial here in New Providence. And also welcome to our Grand Bahama audience listening by way of radio. Last but by no means least, you can download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device and check us out there. So I'd love to hear from you guys, to hear which of the stories of this past week caught your attention most, or which are you most concerned about, or anything in general as it relates to our society. Now, obviously, one of the big stories of this week is there were a couple, but I guess one of the biggest stories of the week was what I call anyway, dealing with Minister Bell and the Immigration Department. We would have all heard the clip, the audio recording of him granting citizenship to the widow of a naturalized Bahamian citizen at a funeral. Citizenship was granted to the widow and their two children. And this was covertly recorded by someone in the audience, because according to reports, he announced that he did not want any recording of what was happening because it was unorthodox. And somebody decided to record it anyway, and it made its way into the public space, and it has caused quite a bit of uproar. So let's begin there. In this report, I think by our news, is it? Yeah. Bell is on the defense, on the defensive. He's saying that what he did, wasn't unlawful or anything like that, despite what others may have to say. Let's go ahead and listen to that clip.
Church acts we have support as I vote to restore citizenship. Saying I and their full name.
It was this viral audio clip that sparked debate, and now the Immigration and Labor Minister is on the defense.
I honored the wishes of a dying man.
Bell defending his actions today after he granted citizenship to the wife of a dead Bahamian man at his funeral on Saturday.
He has two children who were born in the Bahamas, and he has a wife. And the spouses of Bahamians are entitled to citizenship under our Constitution. The same applies to children born in the Bahamas.
Bell responding to critics who called his actions inappropriate, noting that the deceased was an honorable individual who served the country with distinction for many years.
The issuance of a certificate of citizenship in this country is not the beginning of a process. It is the end. When a person seeks citizenship in this country, they must first of all make an application to the Department of Immigration. Due diligence is exercised, and once that is done, the file is prepared, a recommendation is made to the minister. That matter is then taken to the Immigration Board, which is the Cabinet of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. In this particular case, the Cabinet of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas approved the spouse and the children for citizenship.
In the viral audio clip, the immigration minister admitted to his actions being unorthodox. When asked today on why he chose to bestow citizenship at that time, Bell responded this way.
He would have called me while he was in the hospital. I was in Switzerland at the time. When I returned, he was being buried within the week on that Saturday. And so in those circumstances, he called me on his deathbed and said that he would want his wife sworn in as a citizen in his presence. Unfortunately, he died before I got back from Switzerland.
Okay, so a couple of things with regard to that clip. The minister mentioned that according to our Constitution, the spouse of a Bahamian is entitled to citizenship. What he did not say is that the process that he mentioned, based on what's written in the Constitution, takes a lot longer, typically. Now, based on the Nationality Act, something else could happen at the discretion of the minister. But as Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson points out every Monday right here on GPS, that the Constitution is the supreme law. And if there is any place where a particular act contradicts what is in the Constitution stands supreme. It outweighs what is said in any particular act. Now, Professor and I have been going with a fine-tooth comb through the Nationality Act, comparing it to the Constitution of the Bahamas. And there are several instances in the Nationality Act that appear to contradict the process of what is detailed in the Constitution. In such a case, the Constitution should reign supreme. It's a supreme law of the land. Now, and one of the attempts of Minister Bell to explain why he did what he did, he said, when being interviewed by the media, that, how did he put it? He compared what he did to the ruling of the Privy Council most recently, saying that the Privy Council ruled that children of a Bahamian man are entitled to citizenship. Well, what he failed to do was point out that the Privy Council ruling was related to single Bahamian men, single being the key word, single as in not married, who had children within the Bahamas with a foreign woman, being able to pass on citizenship to their children. In this particular case, unless there are some details that I'm not aware of, this man, who was born in Haiti, came to the Bahamas, lived in the Bahamas for, I think, 25 years, received his citizenship shortly before his death, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, was not a single Bahamian man seeking to pass on his citizenship to his children. So, we have to be very wary of people trying to give us half-truths in an effort to explain their behavior. It's a very, I don't know if I want to say effective, but a lot of people try to do this from time to time. They will give you a piece of truth, but not the whole truth, and hope that that piece of truth will be enough to convince you that it's the whole truth. Because I often say that if you want to convince somebody of something, especially a thinking person, you don't go to them with this outrageous, complete lie that nobody would believe. It's always more believable if there's a piece of truth in there. My biggest question in this whole situation, and I have yet to hear this answered, is with regard to the deceased gentleman, under which statute was he granted citizenship? Did he enter the country legally or illegally? Under what provision was he granted citizenship? I'd like to know the answer to that question, because I think much of this debate begins there. Now, he was granted the citizenship. He died. And according to what we just heard the minister say, his dying wish was for his wife and children to receive citizenship. He wanted to actually live long enough to see it. Well, it didn't happen. And the minister decided to grant his dying wish. So my question is, what is our policy? Do we follow the law as it is laid out in terms of the process and procedure, or do we just grant somebody because we feel, compassion, that we're going to just grant this citizenship, right? So without, but even though we may circumvent the process that is clearly laid out in the Constitution. And I'm focusing on the Constitution because if you would have noticed with the Privy Council ruling most recently, the Privy Council members made it very clear they didn't want to see the Nationality Act to make their decision. They made their decision based on what is written in the Constitution. Why? The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. So if we're going to make a decision, it should be based on the supreme law of the land, because in the case of the Nationality Act, there may be something in there that contradicts what is in the Constitution. So I would think that when we're making these types of decisions, it should be based on what is the supreme law of the land. Now, the minister himself said that this was unorthodox. He said that himself. You heard him on the tape. And there are some who are saying that this goes beyond being unorthodox. They're calling it something else. And they're also calling for his resignation. In this clip, Minister Bell responds to one of those persons, namely Brent Simonet, who has been calling for his resignation as a result of the actions that he decided to do regarding this case.
A Minister of Immigration Keith Bell not taking too kindly to former Cabinet Minister Brent Simonet calling for his resignation. Simonet's calls come after Bell conferred citizenship to a woman and her 2 children at the funeral of the late Frank Racine, a Haitian-born male who came to the Bahamas in the 1990s. Now, according to Minister Bell, Racine and his family were already approved for citizenship, and in a viral recording, he did admit conferring citizenships at a funeral was unorthodox. Despite this, Brent Simonet calls Bell's actions shocking and improper and calls for intervention from the Prime Minister.
I think that the Prime Minister should call on Minister Bell to resign, have a full investigation, and if the investigation clears him, he can then be reappointed as a minister. Make sure once all your paperwork's in effect, you go to Cabinet. We don't know, apart from his word, that these people were approved by Cabinet. And with the flippant attitude he's taking, I'm not too sure I can accept his word.
Minister Bell emphasizing that Simonet knew his actions were not unlawful and encourages the former minister to evaluate himself before casting blame onto others.
And I would invite Brent Simonet to examine his own record before he could point fingers. Here it is, we're talking about someone who introduced a Commercial Enterprises Act to allow persons in this country to bypass every process to obtain status in this country. We are talking about someone who had to resign on 2 occasions from the cabinet to come to the Bahamas. And so his own record ought to be examined before he could point fingers at anyone. In my view, he have no moral authority to speak to me on this matter.
After this ordeal, Simonet says it begs a bigger question for what he calls a solemn ceremony.
How many other swearings in has he done or have been done during his ministry that have not been done in the traditional way? In other words, did he go to people's houses and swear them in?
But Bell continues to stand his ground.
I would say this. Frank, the deceased, he was an honorable individual. He served this country with distinction for a significant number of years. And I think that it was shameful and disgraceful the way in which certain personalities have sought to portray this. The issuance of a certificate of citizenship in this country is not the beginning of a process. It is the end.
Senior immigration officer confirming to Eyewitness News yesterday that the Immigration Act does not specify where the swearing in of persons should take place once the necessary documentation are in place.
Okay. So, first and foremost, with regard to Minister Bell saying that Brent Simonet doesn't have the moral authority to speak to him on this issue because he had to resign from cabinet because of his own behavior, that may be so in terms of Mr. Simonet resigning from cabinet. But I call that deflection because, for want of a better term, Mr. Simonet isn't on trial here. So this ain't about him. This is about you, Minister Bell. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS. Please turn down whatever you're listening to us on. Hi. Turn down.
Hello.
Yes, you're on the air.
Good afternoon to you, Madam Michelle.
Good afternoon.
And I want to apologize for that because I should have known better. I want to apologize to you personally for all the pain that I put you through.
Pain?
Yes.
Well, you ain't know me.
Sometimes I do make you tired.
But I ain't paying. I have the skin of an alligator. Thick skin after being.
You get that from me now. You claim that from me.
No.
You know you claim that from me.
Being in the public eye in this country for as long as I have been, you better toughen up.
Now shame the devil. You know you get that from me.
No. But
You
go
get
ahead.
that saying from me.
Trust me, you ain't
I
going
also
to no
have
pain.
the skin of the alligator.
Uh-huh.
But let me start again.
Uh-huh.
I want to apologize for all the wrong that I've done you, all the wrong that I've made you tired, and all the issues that I tried to execute and myself and you disagree, but I still love you like a sister. But I am happy to know, I want to say thanks to you for allowing me to execute my premise, my pet peeve about the erosion of the traditional family and the traditional values that the structure that we once had. Now, I could call my friend name. He is my friend, and I can't discriminate against him, but I have to love him.
Who are you talking about?
My good friend, he used to be a pastor, Vic Rollins, last night.
Mm-hmm.
I watched his interview on another show.
Mm-hmm.
And he is about to open. He didn't hide it. I like his honesty. You see, we have to look at the honesty about this. What do you call it? I forget what do you call it. Drag queen establishment, whatever. I can't say it. I'm old now. But it shows now the question that I asked my brother Vic you know, he's in and out of the church. He know the work of the church, and he know the Bible very well.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and he's well structured in terms of biblically. I'm not saying that he's living it, but then I'm not one to judge. But I asked the question on your show this week, and one of my bloodline was on the show, and they run. They run from my questions. They did not, and you go and get all hot up and wild up after someone else who called you to strike you. And I was angry with you, but I prayed for you, because my question was not answered. But I am satisfied that you allow me to establish my premise. We have lost the traditional values of this country. We are losing the traditional family structure. We are electing leaders who don't believe in the traditional family. We are electing politicians, pastors, and person in strategic places in this country. The prophet Isaiah asked the question, how did this city become a harlot? My brother friend Vic Rollins said last night, there are persons of the Christian faith is a member of this, what do you call it, dry queen organization club that is about to open soon.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
And I asked the question, and I will ask again, because I'm going on sabbatical now. Where is the voice that they get all up in gender equality, marital rape, getting in people's bedroom business? Where is the voice, my cousin, the bloodline who was on your show this week? Where is the voice? How is it that the Christian faith seems to be so weak in this country? That's the question. How is it that the voice of the Christian faith seems to be so weak in this country? I applaud Brother Vic honesty, because I believe he know enough to say plenty things. So I know if they can touch him. I know if they won't go there. I know if they won't raise this rock, because he was a member in the church. The question is this: where is the voice crying in the wilderness of the Christian faith? JT, Papa, all of my friends, C. Allen Johnson, I will be taking a sabbatical. Sit back and watch. Another concern. What happened to the 36-year-old boy, the lady, who alleged to have molested the 14-year-old boy? What happened to her? Has she been charged? Where is she? In Andres a few weeks ago. Where is she? What happened to that case? What happened? What happened? And I would like to know from Professor. I know he is listening. Please call in and educate me, because I am confused. How old do a child have to be before that child is eligible to apply for citizenship?
You jumping all over the place too fast. Are you suggesting first and foremost that the woman who was alleged to have sexually assaulted a 13-year-old boy was let off and somehow? Because that was not the case.
I don't know. I'm asking you. You are a professional journalist. You're supposed to keep us informed. I'm just asking.
As far as I know, that is taking its due course like any other case of sexual assault would.
Yes, I would just like to know what happened. It went Sandy die. I haven't heard anything. I'm not accusing. I'm just asking what happened.
Well, Dr. P, you know ain't no case in the Bahamas is finished that quick. You know that.
Well, sister, I only asking you, and I also listen, and I could go a little further. There was a drug bust in Long Island last week. I think it's Friday or so. What happened to that? I haven't heard nothing on that.
We heard about it in the news, but like I said, nothing in the Bahamas moves that quickly through the courts. Nothing.
Anyway, let someone call in to help me to understand some things. But I will be taking my sabbatical, and I want to wish everybody well. Have a very beautiful and a good independence. I was there in 1973.
Let me say this.
Go ahead.
And I can say some things that may surprise some of y'all on here, just in case y'all living in a fantasy land. This club that Victor is about to open is not the first it's not the first gay club that would have existed in this country.
He said it last night. He said there are 4
And
more.
he's absolutely right.
He said 4 more there. He said it. I listened to my friend.
Okay. So this has been happening in this country for years. Years. With regard to the drag queen situation, years. They have had drag queen shows, drag queen pageants, for years. Years. So this ain't nothing new. And I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying that I endorse it. I'm just saying this has been going on for years in this country, within this island called New Providence. Nothing new. Okay?
I'm going to agree with you because, and then, like I said, we all know Vic from the church, and Vic used to do the gospel thing. Everybody who knows Vic, he knows that. So he know enough. Vic has done his feasibility study. He has done that, and he's a very, very intelligent man. He has done his feasibility study. My brother.
He's been in the entertainment space. He's been in the entertainment space, whether it was on the straight side or the not straight side, for a very, very long time.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, so but
yes,
I just want people to know this is nothing new in this country. This has been going on a long time.
So the question is this, my sister.
Now,
why is
people
the
asking
to be so silent?
Where's the Christian Council and why the church ain't making noise and yada yada yada? Well, Victor let y'all know last night, plenty of them involved in that lifestyle.
Well, you said it. I'm not going to be sued. I'm not going to get sued. You said it. I'm going to listen to you. I'll hang up.
I ain't calling nobody name. I can tell you this.
Go ahead.
This would have been, I can't remember the year that Shane Rollet died. Shane Rollet was a very talented, gifted designer here in the Bahamas, fashion designer.
Everyone who remembered, I remember him, yes.
Yeah, Shane was very good at what he did.
Very talented.
And he was also one of my closest friends.
Has his murder been solved?
He wasn't murdered. He died from complications related to AIDS.
But there's another.
You're talking about Harold Taylor. I'm not talking about Harold Taylor.
Okay.
I'm talking about. I don't think so. I believe somebody was brought before the courts, but they were acquitted.
So how come is it that you're not giving this information?
What information?
That hasn't yet to be solved.
Harold Taylor murder?
Yes.
Like I said, somebody was brought before the courts, but they were acquitted.
Oh, okay. I know.
Now, let me finish my point.
Go ahead.
Shane always used to say to me, you living in a fantasy world. You need to know what's really going on in this town. Shane used to tell me some things that would literally leave me with a headache.
Wow.
In terms of who in this country is on the down low.
Wow.
And for those of you who don't know what down low means, it means that on the surface you appear to be straight, but on the down low, you engaging in some activity that ain't straight.
Wow.
And I always just, after hearing some, I used to be like, Shane, I don't want to hear no more. Please stop. You giving me a headache. No. You living in a fantasy world. You need to know what's going on. One day, Shane decided to take me to the site of a place out west. I don't know if this is still going on because this was way back when, right? And he was telling me about this weekly poker game where many gay men used to go under the guise of going for a poker night. But poker was the last thing on their mind.
What is poker?
The game, the card game, poker.
Oh, you gamble?
listen, man, let me finish my story.
Go ahead, sister.
So Shane takes me and we park across the road. He said, just watch who going in there. Just watch who going. Listen, I ain't call no name because I ain't trying to get sued. When I see so the people who walk in the house, I get an instant migraine. I say, Jesus, what is this? You need to see this. You live in a fallacy. You always used to tell me, you live in a fallacy world. You live in a fallacy world. I showing you reality. I went home with a natural headache when I see some of the highfalutin members of society who went to play poker. I talking in and out of the church. Big time pastors, big time businessmen, big time politicians. I talking, listen, being friends with Shane opened my eyes to a lot because he and I were very, very close friends. Okay? And he used to be telling me things and showing me things about what is really going on under the surface in this country when it comes to that community. Shane confided in me that he was introduced to that lifestyle by a pastor, and I ain't calling no name, big time. And I remember when Shane became ill and had to be hospitalized not long before his death. I was in the hospital visiting him, and this very same pastor walked in to visit, and I could see Shane's countenance change. And after the pastor left, Shane said to his family, I don't ever want to lay eyes on that man again. Don't let him come back in this hospital to see me. This been going on in this little town long time. This ain't nothing new. We like to pretend. But all of us know, many of us know, people right now at very high positions in all kinds of different arenas who are on the down low. We all know it. But we like to sweep things under the rug and pretend. We are guilty in this country of the ostrich syndrome, where we stick our head in the sand and pretend what above the sun ain't there. As long as I ain't looking at it, it ain't there. Come on, man. This ain't nothing new. Everybody all up in arms because of one interview with Victor. This thing been on here a long time.
Well, my friend said, I'm going to go now. My friend said he's going to make his billions. He's going to make his billions. And I watched the interview because I like to listen for myself. And he did say there are many malls in this country just like him, or that place is going to be open. And he said many more like that. So I understand that he knows the industry very well. So I don't know, but I would like Professor to call in and please educate me. At what age a child must be qualified to apply for Bahamian citizen? That is the one I am a little bit confused. Thank you, my sister. While I take my sabbatical, pray for me. All my friends out there, I'll just take a sabbatical because I am convinced that what I've been saying, the Bahamas have lost his traditional values, the traditional family, the structure is completely eroded. Have a wonderful day.
All right, thanks for calling. The telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260272, 3260271, or 2. WhatsApp line is 801-0271. We're going to take a break. And then on the other side of the break, we're going to continue with our open line show discussing the week that was. But trust me, people, this ain't nothing new. I can tell you, this ain't nothing new. This thing been going on a long time. We just like to stick our head in the sand and pretend. Like Shane used to say to me, we need to stop living in a fantasy world. We'll be back after these messages. Stay with us.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company. We're streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm Facebook page, as well as the official Global 99.5 FM page. You can also check us out on our YouTube channels. We are on Cable Bahamas, channel 974, and you can download the Global 99.5 FM app on your smart device and check us out there. The numbers to call, 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line is 801 801-0271. 801-0271. We are also available, obviously, on radio, Global 99.5 FM on your dial. And also a huge welcome to our audience coming all the way from Grand Bahamas. So I understand that we have Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. Let me get it right on the line. Professor, you there?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Malcolm, I hope you're doing well, and
I
I
am.
appreciate your efforts in trying to explain this very difficult topic to the Bahamian people.
Mm-hmm.
The fact is, Ms. Malcolm, 50 years of not knowing the Constitution has really hurt the Bahamian people. With your permission, I hope on Monday when I come, I want to go very well in depth into what the minister had to say, because the information is extremely misleading.
Okay.
The minister, see, the press don't even ask the right question. That's point number one. Point number two, Article 6 of the Constitution does not apply to this particular personality who he has some feeling for.
Mm-hmm.
The Constitution doesn't deal with feelings. It deals with law.
Exactly.
Straight law. No ifs, no ands, no buts. You feel one way today, you feel a different way tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I want to answer the question what Dr. P specifically asked. He said a number of other things, but I want to zero in on that age that he mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe there are many other Bahamians out there who have misunderstandings on this issue. We don't know how this particular personality entered the country.
Exactly.
One.
Mm-hmm.
And let me say the information from the personality who is in the office of the Prime Minister is also misleading. She doesn't even know what the hell she's talking about.
Mm.
So, I would just dismiss that completely. She is so far out as far as the East is from the West.
Now, explain what you mean specifically, because I don't think I pulled that clip with her.
No, you didn't have a clip of her, but I heard it several times on 96.9.
Yeah.
And the information is misleading. It is not truthful.
Mm-hmm.
What the minister himself said, he talked about a whole lot of things that has no relevance to the real issue. And the press didn't zero in on the real issue that ought to be zeroed in. I'll deal with that on Monday in detail. But the thing is, you have to ask questions. How did he come here?
Yeah.
How did his wife come here? How did his children come here?
Well, his children were born here.
Now, there are specific articles in the Constitution, times, dates, deadlines. They don't change. The thing is that for those persons who are non-Bahamian, and these are Haitians, we know that right off the top.
Mm-hmm.
Article 7, children of parents who are non-Bahamian, born in the Bahamas. We're not even sure they were born here. See, I don't trust the word of any minister now because
I think there's evidence that the two children were born here in the Bahamas. I don't think that that's in question.
No, but see, Ms. Malcolm, I don't take anything lightly now because there's been so much misleading information coming from ministers of the government.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, they put a little piece of truth in there and fill with error.
Mm-hmm.
But it is error completely. It is not accurate, it is not precise. You can't depend on that. The thing is that the Constitution says clearly they must apply if they're born in the Bahamas of foreign parents, neither who's Bahamian, between the age of 18 and 19, before their 19th birthday.
Well, let me ask you something, Professor. Stick a pin in that right there. Because clearly the children are not yet 18. And clearly, at the time when they were born, their parents were not citizens at that time.
That's correct.
Right. So in such a case, then according to our Constitution, they would have to wait until their 18th birthday. Now, does that change if later on, as in this case, one of the parents becomes a citizen before that child turns 18? Does that change anything?
That is a good question that you asked. I'm going to look at that a little bit closely, but let us just deal with what I understand to be the facts as they are now. But that is a good question you asked. I'll have an answer for that on Monday.
Okay.
And clarify it for many in the audience out there who asked that question to Dr. P. But the Constitution specifically says at the age of 18, but before they turn 19.
Right.
Window of opportunity. Once that window of opportunity closes, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the Nationality Act, they talk a lot of foolishness and nonsense in there.
Mm-hmm.
Where the minister talk about full age and how he thinks and how he feels and what he does, etc., etc. That Nationality Act is not law. It is not legally sound. It is not constitutionally sound. So you ask the question, is the minister constitutionally sound? The answer is no. I don't care whether the entire cabinet approves anything. That doesn't mean anything to me. The whole cabinet is wrong if we go by what he said. Because he's drawn himself to say the cabinet gave the approval. And now he's saying there are no specific, you see how this government operates? No specific policies as it relates to how you deal with signing citizenship papers. You could sign it on the high seas. You could sign it in one barroom. You could sign it in the toilet. You know, these are the kind of things that we've been operating in this country. And the person from the Prime Minister's office say it's mute. You see, these are the kind of things that have been hurting the Bahamian people for decades because there are no clear-cut policies. I have nothing against policies as long as those policies do not contradict the Constitution. But obviously we have a major problem where the minister is doing things what he calls unorthodox.
Mm-hmm.
Is it constitutionally sound? But the real questions have not been answered. The press didn't ask the relevant questions. All of that jargon he went on about Brent Simonet and all that nonsense, that's nothing to do with the issue. And so we get distracted. And that's why a person like me, I stick rigidly with the Constitution. You ain't getting me distracted on nothing.
Mm-hmm.
What you say doesn't mean anything to me. I ask one basic question. Is it constitutionally sound? Those children are not supposed to be citizens. Now, he signed a piece of paper. That's all he did. A piece of paper signed by him saying they're citizens. That doesn't make you a citizen because it's unconstitutional.
Mm-hmm.
And the person from the Prime Minister's office say they did nothing wrong. And it would never happen again. See, Miss Malcolm, I've heard that kind of crap before. It won't happen again. What guarantee do you have? What guarantee does the Bahamian people have? The only guarantee you have if you follow the Constitution rigidly. And their Article 6 has nothing to do with that Haitian man, has nothing to do with that Haitian woman, has nothing to do with that Haitian children. Nothing whatsoever. So he's misleading the public. I want to use another word, but I'll just let that word rest.
Yeah, please.
He is misleading the public. The information is not true. It is false. It is inaccurate. But I'll deal with it on Monday with your permission. And I just want to say to Dr. P, according to Article 7, children born to non-Bahamian parents, mother and father not Bahamian, at the age of 18, but before they turn 19, they can apply. That doesn't mean they get anything, you know. Because, see, they're supposed to renounce their citizenship. Did this man renounce his citizenship? And when was it done?
Well, I don't think it was possible for him to renounce because Haiti is one of the countries that does not allow you to renounce your citizenship.
Exactly. So that's unconstitutional. You see what I'm saying? Our Constitution says you got to renounce. Their Constitution says they can't renounce. So it's right there locked. And the minister is misleading the public. See, that's the problem with them. They keep saying things that are not constitutionally sound. And the Bahamian people need to wake up. We've had this crap going on for more than half a century, man. And it's despicable that in our 50th year, when we should be, quote unquote, celebrating, all kind of funny things are happening. And we're finding the government of the Bahamas can't even get Article 6 straight. All the Privy Council did, that has to do with a single father, not no married father. So let's get that point straight. So he got it all mixed up. And talking about if you want to carry out the wishes of a dead man, that's a different kettle of fish altogether. I don't say
Well,
anything.
clearly he's using emotion as part of his decision making, it seems. But like I said on one of my shows this week, when it comes to the Constitution, your emotions really have nothing to do with it. It's not about your emotions or opinion or how you feel. It's about what is written.
I was very delighted how you opened the show and the questions you had asked. And you can put those tapes on again on Monday, and let's delve into it very deep so that the Bahamian people understand. See, I know constitutional law is very difficult for people to understand. And that's fine with me. I ain't got no problem with that. That's why I studied constitutional law. And I can explain in simple, basic, fundamental language so that the average woman in Baintown with those 6 boys, man in Foxer with those 630 looking for husbands for them, he can't find no decent man for them to marry. So I got to help him out. And so the thing is that we need to understand the quality of the people who are running our national affairs. We've been taking it lightly, just sending any old person to the House of Assembly to make these big national decisions and causing all kinds of problems in this country. No wonder why the people are up in arms. But Bahamian people, you haven't seen anything yet. Just stick around a little bit longer. You can see some more things that will come out of the dark because it's going to be exposed. It's just as simple as that. We have been on a roller coaster ride for more than 50 years, and there's been a lot of deceit, a lot of lies, a lot of hypocrisy, a lot of misinformation, and has hurt the people of the Commonwealth. Now, the people do something about it. That's another issue that I need to speak to. We are not defenseless. We have more power in our hand than we could shake a stick at, but we're not using it. We're waiting on the word of a minister. We're waiting on the word of an MP. We don't have to wait for them. We are to know when they are right and when they're wrong, and we're to tell them so. Thank you very much, Ms. Malcolm.
All right, I'm looking forward to having you once again on Monday, Professor. Every Monday around these parts, we do what is called Master Class on the Constitution. And Professor aims to break it down so that a 6-year-old can understand it. Actually, someone is commenting saying, if it was not for Miss Malcolm and her masterclass, Steve McKinney and COI, 90% of Bahamians would still be ignorant of the Constitution being the supreme law of the nation, even though some are aware they want to maintain the status quo because it is profitable to them and theirs. Yeah, that's how we operate in this Bahamas. Okay, let's see what else we have going on here. We have another comment saying, yes, so plenty of hypocrisy in this country. Another person is saying, the Constitution of the Bahamas, abiding respect for Christian values and the rule of law, page 13 and 15, 42, 52, 1. Please do not go into the submarine, deep, deep, deep ocean with some people. My Bahamian people, this is why submarines don't have windows. Boy. All right. We need to take a break. On the other side of the break, we're going to continue with our TGIF open line show We'd love to hear from you guys, so let's get a couple of you to call in and comment or ask questions, and we'll do our best to see if we can get those answers for you. Stay with us. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blasted love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company on this TGIF Open Line Friday show. The numbers to call, 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, or 801-0271, 801-0271, which is our WhatsApp line on which you can call or send a message. We're streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. We're also streaming live to our YouTube channels, and you can catch us on Cable Bahamas channel 974. By radio, 99.5 FM on your dial here in New Providence, and also welcome to those of you tuning in by way of radio all the way from Grand Bahama. Last but not least, you can download the Global 99.5 FM app and catch us that way. Okay, so this is an open line show every Friday We talk about the week that was, and I would love to hear from you guys because as my unofficial co-host every Friday, you help to direct the show in terms of determining which direction we go in. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Now, in the meantime, while I'm waiting to hear from you, I did obviously pull some clips in preparation for a conversation, just in case you're, a little slow in calling in. And obviously, one of the biggest stories of the week was that of the whole situation with the citizenship gate. You had uh, uh, that's the term that they use in the United States. They put gate on the end of a word to talk about a saga or an event like Watergate. Well, I call this one Citizenship Gate, um, involving Minister Bell, who decided to grant citizenship to the widow of a naturalized Bahamian citizen at his funeral. And he said that he was granting the wishes of a dying man, and did so out of compassion. When it comes to the Constitution of the Bahamas and the laws governing our immigration procedure, compassion ain't got nothing to do with this. Feelings ain't got nothing to do with this. We have laws that are on the books for a reason, and the supreme one of which is the Constitution of the Bahamas. So if what you have done goes against the Constitution in any which way, and there are some questions that have not really been answered as yet, publicly at least, as it relates to whether or not the actions of the minister lines up with what the Constitution says, then, your desire to be compassionate and give this man his dying wish is neither here nor there. Now, the former Prime Minister, Hubert Minnis, is among those who are calling for the resignation of Minister Bell. He is claiming that what Minister Bell did was egregious enough that it warrants that he should step down or at least be relieved of his duties as Minister of Immigration. Here now is that particular clip.
Immigration Minister Keith Bell is behaving as an independent agent. This much coming from former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis this morning on the sidelines of a ceremony at Government House. His comments come on the heels of Bell conferring citizenship to a woman and her 2 children during a funeral service this past Saturday. Minnis joins former Immigration Minister Brent Simonet in calling for Bell's resignation.
That is unbecoming of a minister. It is different from the standard policy that we have. The Prime Minister has to answer the question as to whether or not the policy has changed. Because the policy today is these are done in a setting, government setting, with individuals who are present to sign and administer the oath. In a church setting, that is not done. If the policy had changed, then the people must know that now they can meet the minister in a bar and get their citizenship. They can meet the minister in a nightclub or a restaurant and get their citizenship, if that's the policy, and the Prime Minister will state that.
Minnis adds that in the absence of that, the Prime Minister has an obligation to dismiss Minister Bell while an investigation is launched.
It sends a bad message to the world. It sends a bad message to the Bahamas, and it makes us look as if we are a banana republic.
The Killarney Member of Parliament also says this situation isn't to be taken lightly, labeling the minister's actions as totally unorthodox, something that Bell also admitted before the swearing in.
If I were Prime Minister, Keith Bell would not be there. He would be removed. And I think the Prime Minister, I've told him in Parliament that as Prime Minister, you must make difficult decisions. You must make decisions to ensure the protection of the office of the Prime Minister, and you must make decisions to ensure the protection of your nation. And Bahamian people should be outraged that a minister can take your citizenship so lightly and give it out at a funeral. For God's sake, restaurant next, bar next. Only God knows what other places are next. They should be outraged, and the Bahamian people should demand that Keith Bell be removed. This independent agent should be removed.
Since Saturday, Minister Bell told reporters that the woman complained about receiving threats since the matter became public. Bell attended the funeral of the late Frank Rancine, a Haitian-born male who came to the Bahamas in the 90s. Bell added that Rancine and his family were already approved for citizenship prior to the viral announcement.
All right. So I'd love to hear from you guys with regard to what the former prime minister had to say, particularly about the prime minister should seek the resignation of Minister Bell. I am so wary of politicians on the whole, because, when it is convenient for them, they have very selective amnesia. What do I mean? I do recall that when Minnis sat in the seat, the behavior of two of his cabinet ministers was brought into question by no less than someone sitting as a judge in this country, who condemned their behavior as it relates to activities allegedly that took place during the Shane Gibson trial. One of the reasons why Shane Gibson was released. And everybody was alarmed when it came out, the level of involvement of those two ministers, and the fact that a judge called them out on it. I don't recall the prime minister at that time asking those two ministers to step down. I am not here in any which way trying to defend Keith Bell and his actions. You all know better than that. I think I've made my opinion on that matter very clear. I just think that maybe sometimes certain politicians need to just let somebody else do the speaking on issues of matters like resignations or firings from cabinet. Maybe you should let someone else. Because if your record is suspect when it was your turn, apart from when it was convenient for you to ask people to step down, then I don't know how much people actually want to hear from you on this matter. I'm just being honest. And I'm not trying to say what the way Keith Bell said it, oh, you have no moral authority to speak to this. That's not what I'm trying to say here. I'm just kind of exhausted at the level of hypocrisy and convenient amnesia that exists with many of our politicians on the whole. And maybe, sometimes you all should take a back seat and let other people speak on issues such as these. Because when you had an opportunity to require some people to do the right thing, you didn't require that of them. So, yeah, I don't know. And it ain't that I have anything, against Minnis or that I trying to defend Minister Bell's actions in any way. I just think we just need to stop being hypocrites in this country. We too hypocritical, man. We know how to see the wrong when it's on the other side, but then we doing it, we find every which way to justify it. Something got to be wrong there. So Miko says, we know this play. Bell was caught red-handed thanks again to smart devices, camera phones. They're going to try to clean it up because of the climate of illegal immigration and nationality corruption. They are caught and embarrassed. Okay. We have a comment from Dwayne says, speaking of hypocrisy, what about godliness? Another nation that forget God shall surely perish. Now, Dwayne, I believe, also had something to say earlier. Let's see if it was Dwayne. As it relates to, yes, this whole gay club thing. And he said, the gay club thing, I agree, is nothing new to the downtown area. There was one just below Blue Hill North. Then you cruise around the curve to drive into West Bay. There was one on the beach front cruise down to further west. One was there where Sand Truck was. Then you had the one by the shopping plaza by Super Value out west. And let's not forget city limits. However, it does not excuse the sin and immorality that is an abomination in the sight of the Almighty God, Jehovah. Okay. They just for the record, there was one in the inner community as well, in the Palmdale area, if I remember correctly. So yeah, man, this thing has been on this for a long time. We just like to pretend. We like to pretend, and many of us like to pretend, and many of us can't say nothing because, you know, we ourselves are involved in this. So I can't throw rock because I live in a glass house. So this is why answering Dr. P's question about why more people in the church ain't speaking up, why this one ain't speaking up, why the next one ain't speaking up, there's plenty of them compromised as it relates to this issue. I saw somebody put a comment about, let me see if I can find a comment on Facebook about the church. Where did it go? Okay, here it is. Rose says, Jesus Michelle, what is this I am hearing? I have so much faith in my pastor, I have to actually see them in bed together to believe, because ain't no pastor should be doing things like that and on the altar preaching. Michelle, I got to catch my pastor. Well, if you got more faith in your pastor than you do in the Lord himself, you got a problem. Your pastor is a human being. So be careful. Be careful. We're supposed to have faith in the Lord. A lot of them in this town are involved in some which way in that lifestyle. And ain't no use we try to pretend. And guess what? Some people know I'm still going to the church. They know what their pastor dealing with. But that's their church. That's their tradition to go to that church. That's their pastor. And they ain't gonna leave just because the pastor is allegedly involved in an alternative lifestyle when he ain't in the pulpit. It is what it is. But ain't no use we pretend like we ain't know what's going on in this country. We know what's going on. We just gotta stop, like Shane said, living in a fantasy world. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. I totally agree with you on 1 or 2 points. I haven't be getting feedback
Yeah, if you have us on
as relates
speakerphone, you may
to
take. If you have us on speakerphone, take us off a speaker and just talk to us with the phone to your ear.
okay, I have it in my head. Put it on the right. Let's see what happens. Hello?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go
Okay.
ahead, Bree.
Yes,
We're
I
listening.
said I agree with you on some of the things that you said as relates to Dr. Menace not speaking as relates to, I guess, him not taking action on some of his ministers when he was the prime minister. But as relates to the two ministers, as relates to who the judge condemned, I still haven't known what the reason why the judge condemned them, on what grounds she condemned them, and I mean, and also how does her condemnation of them weigh into the public as relates to what was done or what they said or something? I don't know what they said or did.
Well, from what I recall of that case, I believe the situation was that they were unduly involved, um, either with witnesses or the process of getting testimony from witnesses, or influencing witnesses. Let me put it that way. And forgive me if I'm using the wrong terminology. Allegedly,
Okay.
but it had to do with their involvement with persons who were key witnesses in the case. And you know, one of the problems with that case, if I remember correctly, was that it wasn't just those two ministers in question, but even the police force was brought into question because it was unveiled that the police was coaching witnesses how to testify, which
Yeah.
clearly goes against justice. And I remember one police officer saying, "Well, we do this all the time, like this standard procedure." So, you know, it was bad enough that a judge actually had to say, "This is not right." So I don't know if that answers your question at all.
Okay. Yes, I guess yes, it does. So, so I guess then I mean, did that weigh into the public? Oh, because I mean, again, I'm hearing about it in terms of the condemnation. I don't think it was a widespread in the community. And I say that in terms of as relates to what Mr. Bell would have done, as relates to the citizenship in a public doing a funeral service.
Well, I think if I remember correctly, again,
Get a bucket.
That came out during the trial, I believe. There was a recording involved as well, but I don't think the recording went viral because most media houses didn't air the recording for fear of being sued. I was at Eyewitness News at the time, and when we became aware of the recording, where one of the witnesses actually recorded what took place in the police station when they went to be prepped as to how they should testify. Our lawyers at the time advised us not to play that because we would have opened ourselves up for a lawsuit. And so that's why we didn't go with it. And I suspect the same thing would have been advised to other members of the media because I don't remember that. Apart from the court case itself, I don't remember that particular audio going viral the way this one has gone viral.
Yeah, then. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling. So Dwayne says, how come Menace didn't resign when he refused the late Dr. Eni's sons to enter the country to bury their dear father who made numerous contributions to this country. However, he allowed the Dingman's widow to enter the country to funeralize a dog. Gilbert Minnis go sit small on that one. Well, I guess you could argue that um, that is why he would have asked Dr. Dwayne Sands to resign. Now, at that time, my argument was that it was more so about him wanting to get rid of Dr. Sands than Dr. Sands doing something that was egregious enough to require his resignation. And the reason I said that is because Dr. Sands could not have authorized for that plane to be landed without, for instance, the Minister of Tourism and Aviation to be involved in that decision. Dr. Sands didn't have that kind of power as Minister of Health. Dr. Sands said he made the decision because the people promised him some swabs. Remember, we were in the midst of COVID. And so he figured, okay, I'll let y'all come in exchange for these much needed swabs. Well, Minnis, dropped the hatchet on him for that. My question at the time was, well, was he the only person involved in that decision? Couldn't be. Because he would have had to go through aviation in order to get permission for that plane to land. So why wasn't the minister responsible for aviation also made to resign? But Minnis clearly used that opportunity to get rid of one of his political opponents. So in my estimation, it was more about getting rid of his political opponent than was about requiring a minister to resign because he violated the procedure under the emergency state of emergency that the competent authority had us living under at the time. So, again, I go back to this whole thing of hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. Some people just need to be quiet and let other people speak on a matter. And I know that, Minnis is obviously trying to make a comeback, so he, trying to make his voice heard as much as possible and stay in the public eye as much as possible. And, everybody know he's trying to come back. If you ain't know that, you ain't one way. So I get that, you're trying to come back. And, I've heard rumblings about him hiring a PR firm and, to, help clean up his image and his bid to come back and all this kind of stuff. But, some of us don't have convenient amnesia. We remember quite well. We remember quite well. And we ain't about to forget now. Just because you continued our political aspirations. So sometimes you should let something slide. Sometimes you ain't the best one to speak to a matter. I just saying, that's just me talking. That's just my little opinion. Y'all might disagree with me, and that's fine. We could agree to disagree. But yeah. And again, I am not trying to give Mr. Bell any kind of excuse as to like a ticket or a pass by saying, well, look what you did. No, because, as far as Simonette is concerned, Simonette did have to leave the cabinet. So he did what he needed to do to make it right. We ain't talking about him, though. We talking about you. He ain't on trial here. We talking about you and your actions. And I still say, I want to know what qualified the gentleman in the first beginning, like we like to say here in the Bahamas, to become a citizen of this country. Under which provision was he granted citizenship? That's what I would like to know. And I ain't nobody speaking to that. Conveniently. Because I think much of this conversation hinges on that. Did he enter this country legally? Was he entitled to apply for citizenship, not just because he was here long, but according to our Constitution? These are the questions that need to be answered. Not that you ain't got no moral authority to speak to me because you had to leave the cabinet for this reason. No, buddy. I ain't trying to hear that. We need some answers that I, quite frankly, ain't hearing right now. I know about y'all, but I would really like to know the facts as it relates to the citizenship being granted to the deceased in the first place. I'd really like to know how that happened, considering what is enshrined in our Constitution. So, we're going to take a break. On the other side of the break, I want to hear from you guys, man. Come on, call into the show. It's your opportunity to sound off. Let us know what's on your mind. It's the time to talk about it. Numbers to call 3260271, 3260272, WhatsApp 8010271. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors. Stay with us.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all. Schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy with mailboat to U.S. addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
And welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company on this TGIF open line show. The telephone numbers to call are 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line is 8010271, 8010271. You can call us or send a message there. We are also airing on Cable Bahamas channel 974, streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and the Global 99.5 FM pages. We're also streaming live on YouTube. You can download the Global 99.5 FM app and listen to us that way. Also, you can obviously listen by radio, 99.5 FM on the dial here in New Providence. And also a huge welcome to our audience coming in all the way from Grand Bahama. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hello, good day, Ms. Malcolm.
Hi.
Yes, a couple of points. I agree with you with what you say. Dr. Menace can't talk. He out. This one of the things what I feel hold the Bahamas back for the last 50 years. One, we have politicians who sit on the front bench as ministers. They party lose. Then all of a sudden, they come back as leader. Other people around them who was ministers too, with the same mind, they got voted because all the prime minister is twice amount equal. So for every decision what he make, what he lost the election for, all ministers was a part of it. So the only people who should be able to say something is backbenchers. All Mr. Pint, that's why in civilized country, okay, when you lose, your whole cabinet go with you. You finish, you gone, you no more. I see that. Mr. Bell, something what you said you would like to know what qualified this man to get this citizenship.
Yeah.
And I asked myself that question too. What made this man so special that Mr. Bell, as the minister, he ain't sent the director of immigration. He ain't sent no one else. He himself, as a minister, feel so beholden to this individual and his family that he say he had to fulfill this man dying wish. I mean, do he understand what citizenship of a country means? Huh? How much people might have been dying and want citizenship, but ministers don't just have the automatic right to store it on them, like you said. It's the Constitution. And what make this man so special? And I see that the office of the Prime Minister released a statement and say they ain't seen nothing wrong with Mr. Bell do.
Well, they gotta clean it up, man. Come on, you surprised at that?
Miss Malcolm, this a country we run in.
Agreed.
This a country we run in. This is Mr. Davis' house, where he could determine, hey, my children ain't do nothing wrong, so I feeding them today. Okay? There's a country called the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Okay? And I can be honest with you, I'm angered over it to see the level and the lowness that they stoop. Okay? And to just to grab a certain sector of this country and say, okay, we can make this special for these, is wrong. And it's wicked. And Mr. Davis, them know I've seen nothing wrong with it. I vote PLP 7 times. 7 times. And I could call all the MP I vote for Peter Battle, the first one, all the way down. Vote for Mr. Bell twice. Okay? I, as a voter of Carmichael, polling division number 12, I see something wrong with what he do. He disrespect this country. He disrespect the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Okay? And all this speak and this show who Mr. Davis is as Prime Minister. They speak to his character too. Okay? Just like how they say about Adrian Gibson. Adrian Gibson speaks to Michael Pentard's character. Okay? That show that these people both about honorable and this and that, but they're not that. Okay? They just love the power that we give them. They love that authority. They love the power and the control. Okay? And me, for one, every day of my life, if I don't live until I die, I will speak that Mr. Bell need to go to bring back some decency and order in this country. Okay? We've been getting. Why do you think people could come on radios or send message and say, I control Abaco, Luby control the Bahamas, control Nassau? Why do you think that is? Why do you think someone could sing on a voice note? We came here on a boat. We hear all this nonsense, just respecting us because why? They see our leader doing it. Our leaders doing it. Okay? Mr. Penland was of Jamaican descent. Okay? I know one Jamaican guest special privilege under Mr. Penland in the open. They were showing that Jamaican could have been able to come here and act how they want to act and do what they want to do. Okay? If a Jamaican overstay his time in the Bahamas or don't pay for his work permit, he will never be able to enter back the soil again. Okay? And they say celebrate 50 years of independence. I'm not celebrating. The only time I will celebrate is when all of them from Mr. Ingram down answer charges as a why they allow the Bahamas to come to what it came to with the people of Haiti. It had to be something afoot as to why we so passive. And everyone think with the fair mongering, your this and your that. Okay? I can put the scenario, something like what Mr. Davis say. A woman have a husband. She married to him. He have his children. His children say to him, Daddy, no, he go to his wife, he say, I have this another woman children I want to bring you, who is this another man children, but I want him come in the house. She say, anyhow, I got allow that. I can let you bring this children. But over time, his children say, Daddy, time for these children to go. They ain't here. They ain't paying no bills. They burden us down. All they doing is causing us problems. We paying all the bills. We doing everything in there, and all they doing is they just here. And they taking their money and they selling it somewhere else. And they daddy say to them, what you want me to do with them? What I supposed to do? I have nowhere to put them. This is other man children, you know. These is his children. This is other man children. And that's what Mr. Davis did to us as Bahamians. When he said what he's supposed to do with all the people in the legal shanty town. And I know that those children who was that man children, they wouldn't forgive him for that. They will always remember that. Okay? And Mr. Davis quote that he is a Haitian until we meet again, he say. Okay? Miss Finland, former Governor General, like she say, she don't like how things going. Okay? Fred Mitchell insult her to her husband grave. And that's how I know they losing faith and they losing steam. He insulted her. Oh, she old. She could say whatever. Just speak her mind. She's an old woman. We ain't worrying about that. Mr. Davis ain't come back in some way to say, okay, this our former leader wife who we insulting, you know. Who's let people do that? Who's let people insult their former leader wife the way he let Mr. Mitchell insult Mr. Penland's wife? Because that's what he did. And no one said one word. As of now, as of what's happening now with what Mr. Bell did, that's the fall right there of Mr. Davis' wife and his government. Because now it's almost like confusion. I always remember what Dame Joan Sawyer say in Mr. Minnis' second year. She said, if he don't stop what he doing, she came from a funeral and the president interviewed her. And she said that if he don't stop what he doing, he ain't gonna last 5 years. And if it's one prophecy, I don't know if she was prophesying, but if one person I see say something and it came out just the way she said it, was Dame Joan Sawyer. Okay? And Mr. Davis heading down that same road with his arrogance and his disrespect for the Bahamian people for other nationals. Thank you for taking my call, Ms. Malcolm.
All right, thanks for calling. I have a comment on Facebook. Richard says, do you think that out of 39 members of parliament, anyone would have been able to look at the articles in the Bahamas Constitution and explain to the Bahamian citizenry which act and article that will allow for the granting of citizenship to persons who came in the Bahamas in the 1990s? Plenty of them could explain that. You got lawyers, you got, just because they ain't explain it don't mean they don't know. They know you don't know. And I'm not saying you specifically, I'm talking about the masses. And it ain't in their best interest for you to know. So at the end of the day, they don't know no better. But they bank it on you not knowing no better. So they can continue to do what they doing. Bottom line. Okay, let's see what else we have here. We have another comment. Vernon says, all they have sense for is to bang on the desk like a bunch of little children. I guess Vernon is talking about their behavior in the House of Assembly. Oh man, some of y'all saying some serious things here. Yeah, okay. Somebody's saying something I'm not going to repeat on the air. All right, so I guess we've beaten that dead horse. Because trust me, it's a dead horse. Because Bell ain't going no place. If you're looking for him to resign, don't hold your breath. He clearly ain't going nowhere. And in response to the person who said about the Prime Minister's office coming up with, an expedition or whatever you want to call it, they got to do to clean this up. So I'm not surprised at that at all. At all. They got to do to clean it up. Because they obviously don't intend to ask Mr. Bell to resign. So they got to do what they got to do. Yeah. Okay. What else went on this week? Let's see what else we talked about here. We've had quite a bit of power outages. And some people have an issue taking that. People are saying that we've been dealing with this load shedding problem for far too long, and we tired of the load shedding. Well, Minister Alfred says is defending BPL and is saying this isn't quite the same as load shedding. The problem is that they're trying to work miracles with old generators. Here's what he had to say.
After residents were forced to contend with constant power outages over the past week, Works and Utilities Minister Alfred Sears is defending the power giant, shooting down assertions that BPL has failed the Bahamian people. Sears says BPL has been dealing with old generators, which isn't exactly a new issue.
According to the manufacturer's life of these engines, they would be considered obsolete, but it is due to the ingenuity of the engineers and the technicians who disassemble these engines, reassemble them, and enable them to keep producing.
On Tuesday, Bahamas Power and Light confirmed it started load shedding exercises because of challenges at the two power stations in New Providence. BPL said that was exacerbated by the unavailability of generation typically provided through a rental agreement. As a result, 60 megawatts was lost in the past few days, resulting in the shortfall and supply interruptions throughout the weekend. Meanwhile, Sears admits BPL is facing some challenges.
All countries throughout the world, especially those countries like us who do not produce fossil fuel, are challenged by global chain of supply issues related to the war, dealing with emergencies as we have.
Over the weekend, consumers were forced to bear with the sweltering heat for, in some instances, up to 2 hours. While BPL said it expected to have enough generation to meet the demand up to Wednesday, residents were still experiencing power outages.
As we speak, developing a plan to establish 2 solar generation facilities of 10 megawatt each. The government will be installing microgrids in Acklands, Crooked Island, Mayaguana, and Enagua.
Well, here's the thing. We are, increasing more and more demand, or I should say, placing more and more demand on BPL with all of these new touristic developments that we see coming on stream. And it seems to me that the ones who are suffering the most and will continue to suffer the most through this is the general consumer, because priority will be given, it seems, to these new tourist developments to make sure that they're getting power. This one's gone on far too long. And I dare say that if BPL hadn't been used in the past as a political football, my terminology, we could have solved this problem already. But there are certain people who are benefiting from keeping things the way that they are. And until such time as we can break free of the stranglehold that those persons have on us as it relates to this issue, prepare to be hot. Prepare to go through this every summer. Because I dare say that this could have been solved a long time. But certain people got us in a stranglehold. And the reason they have us in a stranglehold is at the core of why successive administrations have not been able to break free. I can leave that right there. I can leave that right there. I ain't gonna say no more on that. If you want a further explanation of what I'm trying to say between the lines, go back and watch my show on the new Confessions of an Economic Hitman, Prepare the Gooch. And maybe you'll get a better understanding of why decisions are made that clearly don't benefit the masses. But yet, there's this reluctance to change. Because trust me, they could have fixed this long time. But somebody benefiting from it being just the way it is. We're going to take our final break before I say something to get myself in further trouble. Let's take this break and then we're going to wrap things up. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Blood sugar levels play a key role in your appetite, weight gain, and overall health. When you have a blood sugar spike, you can feel confused, dizzy, and even have increased cravings. Eating carbohydrates, sugary or fatty foods, and not exercising can all cause blood sugar spikes. But now you have help in managing blood sugar levels. Sweeties by Youngevity was designed to help support healthy blood sugar levels, so you can power through your day. It's a synergistic blend of minerals, herbs, and nutrients that have been proven to support healthy blood sugar levels. Sweeties includes chromium, an essential trace mineral that's known for its contribution to healthy blood sugar levels and improved metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Cinnamon bark has been included for its naturally occurring antioxidants and support of a healthy heart. And we've even added gymnema. It's been used in Ayurveda for centuries to help promote healthy blood sugar. All the ingredients in Sweeties work together to give the best support available for blood sugar control. Sweeties, the blood sugar support supplement from Youngevity that helps control cravings and manage blood sugar levels through your day. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
As you age, factors like health, weight, diet, and lifestyle can all impact your bones, joints, and general mobility. Even everyday exercise can lead to wear and tear on your body. Over time, you might start to experience stiffness or pain due to damaged joints or connective tissue. Ultimate Glucogel by Youngevity was created to help you limit the effects of wear on your joints. It delivers a daily dose of collagen-rich gelatin your body needs for joint elasticity and maintenance. Ultimate Glucogel contains a 1-to-1 ratio of gelatin and glucosamine sulfate, which is a key building block of your bone matrix, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and connective tissue. Gelatin's unique blend of amino acids not only help with muscle and joint health, but also has been shown to provide additional benefits for the brain, skin, and hair. Ultimate Glucogel. Natural, optimal daily support for joint health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Radio 99.5.
As we close today's show, I would like to send condolences to the family of the late Gail Saunders, who apparently passed away today. I wanted to be sure that this was in fact the case before I brought this to air. Dr. Saunders was a scholar in residence at the University of the Bahamas and served for many years as the former director of the National Archives of the Bahamas. And she also served as Director General of Heritage for the Bahamas Archives and was the author of several books, including Bahamian Society After Emancipation, and was the wife of the late attorney Dr. Winston Saunders. Gail Saunders was a wealth of information and a true upstanding citizen of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, nation builder, and I'm so sorry to hear of her passing. May her soul rest in peace. And again, my deepest sympathy to her family members and loved ones. All right, time is gone. Got to get out of here. It's 4 o'clock. I hope to see you guys next week. Until then, be careful out there. Show some love. And let's just all remember who we are as a people as we move towards celebrating our independence. Take care, everybody.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not necessarily